Good evening, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Pull a bottle, pop a cork, and pour on in. Welcome to twitch.tv/Tesla, and welcome to the wine cellar. Tonight we're going to be doing a cooking stream. One of the things we're going to cook, a little difficult, but I think if we work together, we can get it done. The other thing we're going to make is dessert, and it's going to be very easy. The only hard part about it will be if Tesla can get a taste of it or not. But in any case, let's get into it. I'm going to start talking about our ingredients. Give me a little workspace here. We are going to make spinach chicken roll-ups. We're going to use 4 skinless, boneless chicken breasts, about 5 ounces each, or about 142 grams, 2 cups, or about 60 grams of fresh spinach, 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 4 green onions, and if you're using the metric system or in the UK, that's about 4 green onions for you also. 6 ounces or 170 grams of chorizo sausage chopped up, grated rind of 2 lemons, 3/4 cup of breadcrumbs divided. I'm actually going to use breadcrumbs and also panko. 1/4 cup of parmesan, 1/2 cup of flour, all-purpose flour, 1/8 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. I am boiling my water away now. I preheated the oven to 360. The recipe calls for 375, but I'm using a dark pan, so I'm going to decrease that temperature a little bit. Not as much as they normally suggest, but a little bit. And I'm going to lengthen my time a little bit. Probably go, instead of the 25 minutes that it says, I'm probably going to go about 35 to 36 minutes. But in any case, earlier today, I did a little prep work by getting the chicken ready. All right, I got the oven preheated. I've got 1 cup of water in a medium saucepan, bringing it to a boil. Won't take long because it was in a boil here just a while ago. I've also got 2 cups or about 60 grams of fresh spinach. Once I get this to a boil, I'm going to take the spinach and put it in the water, cover it, and we're going to blanch it. Just basically boil it for just a short minute. Let's stir it up a little bit, make sure we get all the leaves wet at least. There we go. Now let's cover and give us a 1-minute timer. You'd be surprised how quick 1 minute ago, and you go, oh my goodness. You don't want that spinach too cooked, because if it is, then it sticks together too much, and you can't do the next step that we're going to have to do, which is put the spinach on the chicken. All right, about 30 more seconds on our spinach. Okay, no, I'm not talking much, trying to get the chicken out of the refrigerator and get it ready to go. That's probably my minute right there on my spinach. Turn that timer off, take it off the boil. Now what I want to do is take the spinach out, separating it as the best I can, leaf by leaf. Matter of fact, yeah. And I want to place it between a couple of towels here, so that I can squeeze the moisture out of it. But I want to keep them separated as much as I can, because when we try to cover that chicken, we don't want to have big old lumps of spinach here and there. We want it as even as we can get it. Now, this takes a while for me to do this. Do you want to go ahead and run the chicken prep? I think this takes longer than the
I like
laying it on the
to
chicken,
choose
actually.
nice large breasts because I like large breasts. But I have to fillet these, so the thicker, the better. So I kind of look them over. That looks pretty good, but I want to make sure that I don't fillet this side too thin. The skin on this side will help, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. But in any case, let's start with a fillet. Pick a side to start with. We'll start at the end on this one. And I'm just going to use a nice sharp knife and just start filleting right down the middle. Trying to keep the same distance top to bottom as I'm cutting. And we now have 2 chicken breasts we can work with. Alright. Same thing on this one. That's a good one, and I'm not too sure about that one. That might be one of our not used. We need 4 of these. We've got 3 so far. Let's see what we can do with this one. This will save time when we go to tenderize and shape this meat by flattening it, because we'll already have a lot of it gone. I like that piece too. So I think we got our 4 pieces right here. Let's take these. We'll use those in some chicken stock or something. But here we have nice fillets to work with. Alright, now I'm going to leave my cutting board here. Use it as a pounding surface. And we'll take some cling wrap and cover my cutting board. That will make the mess stay inside the plastic and not all over my kitchen. Alright, I'll take one of these and set it on here. I'll take another one and set it on here. And now I will cover these 2 with some more plastic wrap. And now my mallet. I did have it out, I don't know what happened. But in any case, using a meat mallet, you don't want to use the pointed side because you'll put holes in your plastic, and it doesn't take hard hits either. I'm going to use the smooth side of the mallet. It's going to be a little noisy, but all I want to do is lightly tap this meat. You can watch it spread out.
Okay, sorry about the mess up on the video, but I basically flattened them so they look like this. You can see how thin they look. There's a really thin one. This one was that thickest one. So our next step, excuse me, is we're going to take this spinach that we put in between the towels to get some of the moisture off of it, and we're going to spread it over our chicken breasts. Nice thin layer will do. On this spinach, I took a lot of the stems, well, just about all the stems off the spinach. The stems to me are a little bit too bitter. And so I took the most of the stem off of there. You can see, had we cooked these too long, blanched them too long, they'd be really hard to lay down on this chicken correctly. But also, I want you to notice I used towel, not paper towel. You can use paper towel if you want, but I've used it in the past, and it ends up the spinach sticks to it, and it just tears up the spinach. So I went to just a regular towel now. And by the way, here's my disclaimer. I'm not a professional cook. Some of the things I do, some people might not agree with how I do them, but it's how I do them. And I'm always open for improvement. So anyway, all right, we just about got this one covered. You want to leave a nice border around the chicken, the breast. Let's go ahead and start this one. Next step, we're going to be making our stuffing to go on top of this. And that doesn't really take that long at all. The prep takes a while. And then the cooking itself. But if you want to impress somebody with not only a flavorful dish, there we go. What? Yeah, one that tastes really good, and one that looks outstanding, and the smells of this is just awesome. Ingredient that goes in here that's just going to change the whole complexion of the aroma, and it's just wonderful. Now, we're going to step 3. We need to melt butter in this saucepan. Saucepan already looks pretty hot. We on the cook stove now? Okay. All right. So we'll drop that butter in there. All right. And once we get this butter melted, we're going to be adding green onion or scallion, call it what you want. There is a difference between the two. There is. A green onion, if left to grow long enough, will grow a bulb. A scallion will not. As far as taste, they're almost identical. All right, we got that melted, probably a little hot. I like to saute on a medium heat. We're going to just drop those in there and start sauteing. Get them moving around. And you can use the white part of it and the green part of the onion or scallion. But the white part, a little more tang to it. I like the white part a lot. I am so glad that Tesla is not mic'd up right now. I messed up and gave her a full glass of wine before the stream. All right, now we're sauteing this for about 5 minutes. We've already been going about a minute. So we're going to let that go a little bit, get ready for our next step. I always like to keep the directions handy, and I like to read them. Consistency is key. If you make something that's really good, you want to be able to reproduce it time after time after time. So I follow the recipes. If you don't care about, making it the same every time, memorize and go on. Anyway, who needs a recipe? Once we get these scallions sauteed, another 3 minutes, we are going to put in our chorizo. This is chorizo. There's 2 kinds of chorizo, actually. There's Spanish chorizo and Mexican. They're similar, but yet there's a couple of big differences. The Spanish chorizo usually is fully cooked or smoked, and it's usually already in oh, what's my word, Tesla? Casing. It's usually in the casing. Okay, so a link type sausage, you know, but it's usually already cooked and everything, and it's primarily seasoned with smoked paprika. It has with smoked paprika. Yes. That's the Spanish kind. Now, the Mexican kind is also very good. It is usually seasoned with chilies and peppers. The chilies give it the red color, like you see here. The smoked paprika will give the Spanish version a red color. Now, the difference on the Mexican chorizo is it usually comes uncooked, and it can come either ground or in the casing. One step I forgot to do tonight, I was going to put one in the freezer for you and show you how to take it out of the casing. But anyway, let's get past that. We'll add that to the YouTube video when it goes out. So anyway, the chorizo, I'm using the Spanish chorizo, Mexican chorizo, excuse me. So it was uncooked, but it was in the casing. And when you take that casing off, you want to make sure that you don't leave a lot of meat on the casing. So there's a little secret of how to get that off. If it's raw, put it in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. At the end of 15 to 20 minutes, lay it out on the counter or cutting board, slit it very lightly end to end, and then you start peeling back on one end and turn it over, and it'll just come right off. Really easy. If you're using the Spanish that's already cooked, then you're going to have to take one more step, and you almost kind of blanch it. Just 1 or 2 minutes in some hot water, take it out, put it in some cold water immediately, and then do the same procedure that you did the other way. Oh, boy, that's smelling good. One day somebody needs to come up with smell-o-vision. Be great for cooking shows. Those onions smell really good. Okay. All right. That's it for that. For the onions, we've got them done. We're going to put the chorizo in. And you see, it doesn't look like a whole lot. It doesn't need to be. And we're going to cook the chorizo and the onions together for about 2 more minutes. Now, which brings me to another point about the chorizo. The recipe will give you a hint as to which chorizo to use. This recipe told me just let it cook another 2 minutes. Well, if you've ever cooked sausage, you know it takes longer than 2 minutes to cook that sausage. So what they're telling me is they're expecting that sausage to already be done. We're just kind of heating it up. So with that in mind, they're telling me probably want to use Spanish chorizo. If the recipe tells me to brown that sausage before using it, then they're probably talking about using the Mexican, because it usually comes raw. Does that make any sense? Whew. Man, that is smelling good. Anybody hungry? I am. Take that up just a little bit, even though we're almost done. About another minute, we're going to take this off the heat, and we're going to add lemon zest and the breadcrumbs. Yeah, catch up on chat. Excellent, thank you. Went ahead and turned my heat off. Whew, because I can tell by the smell this is smelling really good. Now, chorizo I thought was going to be very spicy hot. It's not. especially when you have to brown it first, because you do cook a lot of that off of it. Let me get some of these onions off of my spoon so they can continue to cook. And about 6 or 7 more seconds. That's good enough. Thank you, Mr. Buzzer. Okay. Now, we still got an eyeball on it there, Tesla? Can we still see it good? Okay. Now what we're going to do, you pick a camera, any camera. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in the breadcrumbs. And I am using just regular breadcrumbs. Okay. And lemon zest. The zest of 2 lemons. Now, when you zest a lemon, you don't want to go too deep. You want to use a fine grater. And once you get down to the white, stop. Don't get any more of that white because it's bitter. But as you can see, that is the zest of 2 lemons. Oh, and it's going to put a pop of flavor and a pop of smell into this that is just unbelievable. We dump that in there. Give it a little stir. Now this is going to be really, really dry. And I don't like it that dry. So I went a little bit different from the recipe and decided I wanted my stuffing to be a little more moist. See how dry that is? It won't even stay together. And I kind of want it to stay together. So I got me a little stock. You can use chicken stock or vegetable stock. I'm using vegetable stock. Why? Because it's what I had, okay? I could have made some chicken stock, but I had vegetable stock. So that's what we're using. Got about 4 tablespoons in there. I'm going to slowly add that to this and see how it moistens up because I want it to stick together a little bit. Oh, man, that smells good. It looks good. A little bit more of this. I'm about down to 1 tablespoon left, so I put about 3 tablespoons in here. I thought it was going to take about 4, and it looks like it will. But, oh, man, that is looking good. Now, see, now I'm starting to get the clumping that I like. It's sticking together a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and use that last tablespoon. Let's stir this up some more. All right. Man, that looks good. All right, we're fixing to move over to our prep area and put our stuffing on our chicken. You might want to just leave all the cameras on because I'm going to leave this pan right here. Okay? All right. Didn't tell you this beforehand, but it was a clean surface. I put aluminum foil on it, make sure it was clean, and I laid string down to be under the chicken. I should have mentioned that before. Can't see it, string? Yeah, there's 3 strings. I put 3 strings on every one. This is just kitchen string. Get just about anywhere. Huh? Yeah, don't use kite string. This is kitchen. If you go to get some of this, make sure it says kitchen string, okay? Don't want kite string. All right, so now all we have to do for this, we'll take a spoonful, put it right here. I know, I did, I heard it. She back there making snide remarks. Get away from that wine bottle. Never mind, go ahead, enjoy. All right, put a little scoop on each one. I'm gonna give a little extra to this big boy here. Spread him out a little bit. All right, move on down the line. When you get ready to roll these, you don't want way too much spinach in there because it'll make it harder to roll and it'll just make a huge mess. And you just have to kind of gauge that by how large the breast is. Man, that's looking so good. I'm getting hungry, Tesla. Who wants to come over and eat? Tesla and I can, but we should not eat this much. Now, I've got some chorizo left over, or my stuffing left over, but that's okay. I don't want a difficult time trying to roll these up and tie them. And trust me, with that lemon zest and those onions and that chorizo, you got all the flavor you need in that. Now, what I want to do now, oh, doggone it. I do want to season that a little bit more with a little bit of salt and pepper. I should have put that in and mixed it in before I took it out of the pot, but that's all right. I've got an 1/8 teaspoon of salt and pepper mixed together here, and I'll just kind of sprinkle it on the top. That'll be fine. Ooh, matter of fact, I might even like that better. Just a little pinch on each one, and we'll let that cook in, bake in, because we're going to bake these, believe it or not. All right, like I said, prep's a little tough, but I think it's worth it. All right, now we need to roll these bad boys up. Is that our next step? It says to spray a baking sheet with nonstick cooking spray. We're using a nonstick pan, so we're not going to do that. We have placed the eggs in a bowl, and we'll get all that in a minute. We're going to go out of turn just a little bit, and we're going to roll the chicken up now. All right, the big one, it's going to be pretty easy. But what you want to do, pick it up and go ahead and tuck it right there. And then roll it on over. All right? Then, ooh, that one's staying pretty good. Tie it with the string so it stays until we're done. That's the reason why you need cooking string, because this is going in the oven. Right, I'm going to get to that. Tesla saw the preview. Okay. Tesla, I think I'm going to need a little bit of your special ingredient. Thank you. All right. Now, let me get this one out of the way a little bit. These are a little tougher. This is a little smaller, not as big, but it's the same thing. If you wanted to go from the long end, because this looks like a longer end than this here, you can, but I don't want to go through all that turning over. Tuck it in as much as I can and bring it on over. Now, this one probably won't stay too well by itself, so I'm going to have to tie. There we go. Got that one. Man. There we go. Woo! Finally got a knot. All right. Take this one. This is a very special cook's knot also. Not anybody can make this knot. Okay? I think Tesla just rolled her eyes. You see, we got a little bit of space there, so what I'm going to do is throw an extra piece of string on there that I just happen to have right here, just to hold that shut a little bit better in some places. Whew. And another spot there. See, this was that really thin one we had. So yeah, I'm going to use another piece of string there. You want to make sure it's closed when it goes into the oven. So the chicken cooks around that stuffing and that spinach. Tesla left the room for a minute. When she came back, her first words was, God, it smells good in here. Okay. All right. Now, let's see if we can get a better roll on this one than that last one. That last one was a little tough. Ooh, can he do it? There we go. You get one started, and you pretty much got it licked. And before I go too tight on this one, I'm going to look, yeah, it looks okay. All right. Now, there we go. That one's tied a little loose, but that's just fine for there. Now, I want to get this one right here. Ooh. Tough little recipe, but like I said, it's worth it. But not as tough as some recipes I've done. All right, here we go. Last roll. If you feel like there's too much stuffing in there, like I feel like there is in here, just let it go onto that surface. Tucking and rolling. Tuck and roll. Tie that one nice and tight. Now this one. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not raining here. That drop of water you saw that went to the floor was me. I'm not sweating on your dinner. I promise. All right. Take this and get it out of our way. Now, just a couple more steps here, or actually one more step, until we're able to get this into the oven. And here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to wipe sweat. Woo! And then I'm going to move this right up here. All right? Next thing on the directions, it tells us to place the beaten eggs in a bowl. We still on all three? We can go to just prep if you want. Okay. That's all right. Okay, we're good. All right. Now what the heck am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Beating my eggs. I put them in a bowl. I like a long bowl because I've got to put the chicken roll-ups in there and coat them. So I like the longer bowl. We want to put the remaining breadcrumbs on a plate with the cheese. Now, what I have done, I got me a larger bowl because it'll mix better. And instead of breadcrumbs, I got panko. I like the texture panko gives on the outside of the chicken. Almost tastes like it's fried. And you know how we Southerners like fried. I even heard of somebody frying Snickers bars and stuff like that. They do fry everything at the fair. They really do. All right, I'm just mixing this up with my hands a little bit. Then we're going to put it on a plate. There we go. Parmesan and panko. Man, that is going to be a nice coating on that. All right. Now I'm going to get me a plate, and I'm going to put my mixture on the plate and spread it out a bit. Okay? Next, I'm going to take my flour and put it on a plate. Spread it out a little bit. Throw a little bit of this flour on my face so Tesla thinks I've worked hard. All right. Now, let's get this in the right order. We're going to put it in the flour first, then the egg wash, and then we're going to coat it in those, and we're going to put them on the pan. That's all there is to it. Maybe, though, I do need to trim these strings a little bit. Don't want to trim them too much because then you find it a little tough to find them after you've cooked. So, safety scissors is the only thing Tesla lets me use. Wise woman. Wise woman. Let's see. That's good. I'll show you a very unique way when these are done, or a very neat way that I've found to get the strings off of there so that you don't take a bite and go, string, because it's not pleasant. Okay, here we go. We take the first one. I'm a little worried about that, but that's all right. And we just kind of roll it in the flour until it's coated in the flour good. Then we take it, roll it in the egg wash real quick, and then roll it in the panko. Then we simply put it on the baking sheet. Okay? Now, in case you missed that, don't worry. We're going to do it 3 more times. Roll it in the flour. Roll it in the egg. And roll it in the panko. Oh, we didn't want that anyway. And onto the pan. Now, as you can tell, my hands get really, really messy. So I'm going to take just a second to rinse them off. All right. On the cookie sheet. Getting ready to put them in the oven. We are at 360. Going into the oven. We're going to set our timer for 30 minutes and check them. Oop, not 43. 30 minutes.
Banana, banana, hey, 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 it's pudding time.
Now I'm unmuted. I have to repeat everything. Let me go back first. Okay, back at the beginning now. Okay. We had a kind of a tough recipe to start off with. We got about 21 minutes left on it before we check it. I figured we'd fill the time by making something easy. This is really easy, but it's good. And it can be ready in like 10 minutes. We're going to make some banana pudding. Tesla's recipe. It's quick, it's easy. It's, it's me. Quick and easy. But anyway, I'm using banana cream pudding because I just like all that banana, all that artificial banana flavor. It says to do it with a whisk for 2 minutes. Here's my whisk. Not going to do it for 2 minutes with a regular whisk, but we have 3 cups of cold milk. Before I pour that in there, I'm checking the directions one more time just to make sure. 3 cups cold milk. Okay, and we poured this 3 cups of cold milk into our instant pudding. And now we're going to do this on low for 2 minutes. So if it's too loud, tell Tess, and she'll mute me.
Banana, banana, hey, 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 it's pudding time.
And what?
Banana,
Who rated us?
banana.
Lucid
Hey,
Confusion.
hey,
How are you,
it's
buddy? Good to
pudding
see you. Thank you
time.
so much for the raid.
Banana, Banana.
What were you playing tonight?
Hey, 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 it's pudding time.
Breath of the Wild. Oh,
Banana.
Tesla's playing that also.
Banana.
We got a good shout out for him, didn't we, Tesla?
Hey, hey, it's pudding time.
Yes.
Banana.
There's our pudding, supposed to set in 5 minutes. It actually looks like it's going to. Lucid, good to see you, buddy.
It's pudding time. Banana.
You got a what?
Banana. Hey.
I don't know where it is. Okay, so we got the pudding ready. Now, Tesla, bless her heart, cut me up a bunch of bananas already, but I wanted to show you a little shortcut we found that's kind of neat. Take your banana, peel it, cut it in half, and if you have a butter slicer, take that half a banana and slice banana. Wow, right into the pudding where it's not supposed to go. Now, we got our pudding with a couple of stray bananas in it. God, Tesla, can't believe you did that. Then there's some bananas there. And we're going to use, I'm not making fun of the bowl. I love this bowl. We have had this bowl. This was a wedding gift. This bowl is, let's just say it's over 20 years old, okay? It's over 20 years old. So, but we're going to make our pudding in this bowl. Only ingredient we have left to grab, vanilla wafers. Okay, so we're going to take the vanilla wafers, and we're just going to throw some in the bottom of the bowl here. Spread them out a little bit. See if we can get layers going here. Hey, Deborah! Good to see ya! We will have, for those that missed, we will have a VOD, of course, and we're also going to have this on YouTube in case you want to look at it again. I'm going to go ahead and stack up a layer along the side here because I just like that, okay? Kind of hide the bananas here on the first layer. All right, now I take some bananas and put them in here. And you see I carefully place them so that there's no overlapping. Yeah, there we go. No, I think we'll be all right. There's some with pudding on them. What? Okay. All right. Layer of cookies, layer of bananas, layer of pudding. Kind of throw about a third of it on there and just spread it out a little bit. There we go. I think Tesla's getting hungry. All right, more cookies. Vanilla wafers. Now, let's just go nuts with some bananas. Nuts with bananas? That don't sound right. So, everybody following me so far? Everybody liking it? Let's layer this thing of bananas real thick. The only problem with this, I can't stand to touch my spoon with nasty hands, so I do a lot of hand washing. All right. Tess said that even, how'd you put it? Even the youngest of children can put this together. All right, here we go. What's next? Banana, banana. Hey, 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 it's pudding time. Am I messing you up? How am I messing you up? You thought it was a recording going, huh? All right. We still got 9 minutes on our main dish. A few more bananas on here. Yeah, this is how you make it when you forget the Cool Whip. Actually, I should have been layering a layer of whipped cream. Cool Whip on each and every layer that went up. That is the end of our pudding. All right, now let's do something here. I don't know what I'm making here. It's just a pattern, okay? It's just a pattern. All right, now we'll take some of these broken pieces that Tesla was talking about. And I know what, before we do that, let's grab this Cool Whip out of the refrigerator. And let's put a little Cool Whip on there. Look, Cool Whip on there. Here we go. Little here, little here, little there. We'll spread it out a bit. All right. Now, all right. We will put that in the refrigerator until we're ready to dig into it, which will probably be just a couple minutes after stream, won't it? Oh, take a peek through the oven door at the 5 minutes we have left on our main course. Ooh, they are looking good. I'll be checking them with my handy dandy thermometer here to make sure they're the right temperature to be called fully cooked. That's the timer. And we're going to check our chicken. I did say check our chicken. Where is, here it is. All right. Ooh, I think we are done. Of course, I can't tell now because I fogged up. I can't see. All right. They look pretty good, don't they? Well, you need to be looking at that. I pulled them out of the oven. Huh? Aren't they pretty? All right. Now, what I want to do is I want to check the temperature, the internal temperature, make sure they're done. It's the safe thing to do. We'll check on the largest one first. We're done. All right, now for the fun part. Got those. Now, we're going to cut one of these bad boys open. Okay, I can turn that oven off. We're going to show you how pretty this is on the inside. Okay, give me some. Yeah? Okay. Now, what happened to those tongs I got out? I have more. All right. let's take this. Let's take the largest one first. Ask chat which one do they want to cut first. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one do we cut first? What? That's 2 votes for 2. We're going for 2. Okay. Look at the bottom of that. Isn't that pretty? Didn't that turn out kind of pretty on the bottom? Now, here's a little secret on how to get that string out nice and easy. If you look real close, you can see right where that string is because we left those ends extended a little bit. It makes it a little more pronounced. Excuse the cough. All right, now I'm going to cut down right next to that string with a nice sharp knife, and you can see that string almost comes out all by itself. See there? Now we find, well, let me turn it this way. Cut down the middle here. And then right next to this string. Should have sharpened this knife today. Oh, it was the string that was doing it. See, there it is. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Knife just fell into there. What do you think, Lucid? Would it do for dinner? Yeah, we'll cut it here. You ought to smell it. You ought to smell it. The lemon zest that we put in there, man, you can smell it in there. But it's not going to be the only taste that you have. It won't overpower everything. And that is our spinach chicken roll-up. The others, I might not cut until I'm ready to reheat them and eat them. Right, yeah. I did a little test run on Wednesday, and we sat down and ate all of them before we knew what was happening. It was terrible. It was terrible. All right, we're going to give Tesla first taste. Let me get rid of this trash first. All right, let's get us a fork because regardless of what some people say, I do give a fork. Oh, let's cut that right in half there. Tesla loved that little noise that came up. All right, here you go. Tell us how it is. Oh, she's not saying anything. She's just saying that she didn't get a large enough taste and she wants more. So I think that's the sign of approval right there. I'm going to taste it myself. Ooh, I want that on there. Dadgummit. That chicken is so tender, so moist that the coatings that we put on it kept all that moisture in. We got a nice crusty finish with those panko crumbs. The lemon zest, you can taste it, but it's not overpowering. I think it's being tempered by the spinach. And then that chorizo stuffing with those onions. Oh, man. It is so good. It is so good. I wish y'all could taste it. Let's see. Let me get a couple of bowls. I actually have a couple of bowls left. I don't believe it. All right. Now, see, Tesla, didn't that turn out okay? Isn't it pretty? That's crazy. I was about to give Tesla that bowl. Ain't no way. He'd say, thanks for the sample. That is pretty good. Simple and quick. Hush. I knew she was going to go there. As soon as I said simple and quick, I knew the next things out of her mouth was like MrTess. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Well, it turned out okay.